What's up, everybody? Hopefully everybody's doing well. So this video is just going to be an update on Jo Milano Levante Blue Noir and Intense. I really wanted to test them out, give them some full wearings, and just tell you a little bit of something about both of them. That positive, great fragrances. The performance on these fragrances on my skin is above average. They are projection monsters for one, which I'll start off with, and let's just start it off right now, which is the, and I really want to correct myself with this particular one as well. So when I did a video on the Jo Milano Paris Levante Blue Noir, it came across in the car, it came across like a aquatic, like let's say the Bulgari Atlantique or something, like a fresh spicy fragrance. But when I took it home, it completely did 180 in a good way, and it came across very similar. It's still its own fragrance, but very similar to Versace Eros. Okay, if you like between Versace Eros, and if you get that minty vibe that you get from Jean Paul Gaultier in the Navy, this is what you're gonna get. But one thing with this one that this or JPJ in the Navy are lacking is the performance. This one performs. It's a beast, at least on my skin. I gave it some wearings. I gave it a full wearing. It gave me about like 3 hours and 30 minutes projection, which is, that's above average in my book, okay? And it gave me about like 8 to 8.5 hours, say 8 hours and 45 minutes longevity. So you know, they run about, like, this one costs about like $130, and I'll leave all the information there. But the performance is worth every cent. That's why when I look at a fragrance, even if it smells super great, you know, I mean, it makes people melt, like, you know what I mean, like just like go Google Gaga over. But if the performance is not there, you're paying basically for nothing, for air, you know. So it's basically like a mirage. So I wouldn't pay that. You know, there's so many, let's say some of my favorite fragrances, like clones, like you know, Creed Aventus clones, that are super good for the 10-15 minutes, and you know, super smoky, and you would think they're gonna last, but I pass them up because they don't last, you know. So or you gotta keep spraying, and I'm not gonna do all that. You know, even if I take a decant, it's just ridiculous. You don't pay. So anyway, the performance is there. It's a unique fragrance because it's not necessarily, it's similar to those fragrances that I said, like Eros and the Navy, but it stands out because it's in between those two, and the performance is there. So I'm sorry if I said it comes off as a fresh spicy. It kind of does a little bit when I first initially spray it, but in like 2 minutes, because I tried it at home, tried it outside, it's just like those two fragrances, like a minty lavender, clubbing sweet Eros, and minty, kind of a minty, you know, in the Navy vibe when I get from this. Great, super great fragrance for the summer nights. You know, if it's cooler outside, air conditioned, you can get away with it in the office. But if it's like a casual day at the office, if it's like, you know, the end of the week, Friday, nobody really cares, they're about to, you know, break out for the weekend, so on and so forth. This is where I see myself wearing this. This is a playful fragrance amongst the Levante Intense as well. And if I had to pick, which both of them are very gorgeous smelling fragrances, but for me, I like, and this, you might like this, but Jo Milano Levante Intense is my favorite because it resembles one of my favorite fragrances of all time. Can easily be in my top 5 or top 10 fragrance list of all time, which is Wanted by Night. So it really does, and I like, listen, don't get me wrong, like I'm trying to compare this because this one, this one is good. No. I just like to, I found out a way that's better because people can understand, because they probably came across this is like everywhere and smelt it before, or this and that. So that's why I make it like a little bit understandable, if you know what I'm saying. So that's the only reason why I compare it, but still it's its own fragrance. So I would say this, the Levante Intense is between Paco Rabanne, Invictus, and Wanted by Night. Okay, two of the powerhouse fragrances of all time, but you get it in one. Okay, so the performance on this, it projected out of my skin for 4 hours, which is totally, and it goes about it's about $125 and this and that. But if I find like a discount code from their company, I'll put it down. But if not, it's still worth it, I believe. It's because you're buying the performance and you don't need to spray a lot to, some of the fragrances that don't perform, people spray so much and that's not gonna work, and you just empty the bottle and you just threw down $100. There's some niche fragrances like, what is the new the Creed cologne, which goes for $400, and it doesn't even perform. Like that's the first thing people talk about. It's like it gives you like an hour projection or something. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but that it's somewhere, something as bad as that. You know what I mean? So this one right here, you get Wanted by Night vibes, and Paco Rabanne Invictus, which are super great date fragrances, mainly clubbing fragrances. If you're going out, if you're going out to a carnival, if you're going out, this is a great leather jacket fragrance too, because it kind of does have a little bit of similarities to let me see. I kind of smelled Date for Men from Jeremy Fragrance in this a little bit, like I would say 10%. Kind of a Date for Men, because I remember smelling it at the Freg the Scent Explorer, and I kind of recall it has kind of some vibes on this. So, but you're not gonna be paying like whatever how much his fragrance costs, which is a great one too as well. But again, I think $125 for this fragrance is fair. It's fair because the projection, and you will get notice on this one. So I was wearing this, and I went out to a bar. I went out to a bar with a friend of mine, and I don't drink that much or whatever. I don't drink at all. I might just order something to eat and whatever. But he started talking to this girl, and it was with her friend too. And I just make a long story short, she was like, "Somebody smells yummy." So I knew it was me. He doesn't know where to start when it comes down to fragrances. He doesn't even know. I don't even think he wears Axe, So of course it was me, unless if it was, but the food wasn't there once he said that. So anyway, it gave me a compliment. The first time I really gave it, full wearing, and that's that. So hopefully I described these. So these two are a go in my book. It all depends on what kind of what kind of person, what kind of, if you like arrows and in the Navy, that's what you're gonna get with the Levante, the Blue Noir. But if you like these two, this is what you're gonna get. Okay, again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm still working on some material, and again, hopefully I'll drop another video by tomorrow and Sunday, and we'll go from there. So love you guys and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you on the next. Take care, everybody.